All right, friends, so excited. I'm so excited about this right now. I'm like, my mind is blown. The man, the myth, the legend is in-house right now. This is our chief meteorologist, Luke Dorris. I'm so glad you're here, my friend.
Me too. So I just got off of a flight from Miami on Monday where I left a high of 80 to show you how excited I am to be here. I left a high of 80 to come in, and I thought Antarctica is where I landed when I got here. There's a lot more people in Antarctica than I realized.
That's weather whiplash right there.
It was insane. I got out of the terminal at MCI and stepped outside to load the kids in with the car seat. I thought, you've got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding us. But that's, it's all worth it. And I'm so happy to be here. I'm from this area. I'm from the Midwest. I'm a Midwest guy. My wife is a Midwest girl. And I want to raise my family in the Midwest. And I've spent a lot of time here in Kansas City. I love Kansas City. I'm excited to be here. This is fantastic. And this is the kind of weather that this is what got me into weather.
Oh, yeah.
The Midwest is a mecca. It's truly, what we have here is truly unique in the world.
For sure, 100%.
Bangladesh kind of has something similar with the moisture from the south and the mountains to the west and the cold from the north.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Aside from that, it's the Midwest of the United States that in the world is a wild area that gets all this extreme weather. So that's what I studied. And now I'm back in it. And, in Florida, it's sunny and 75 today. Back to you. So it's good to have purpose again. So I'm so excited to work with both of you. Greg, you're amazing.
Oh,
I love your energy, and I love...
You can stop that.
I know.
Keep it coming.
And Savannah is... You all know how sweet she seems on TV. She's that sweet in person, too. It's been a pleasure to meet her, and she's a wonderful meteorologist. So I'm privileged and honored, and I just can't wait to get going. We're going to get going tonight.
And FYI, guys, truly, this man is a Midwest guy. He gets off, and he comes straight over to KCTV5, and he starts taking shots outside when it's about, 4 or 5 degrees with a wind chill that makes it about -10. And this guy is smiling from ear to ear, so excited to be back here in the Midwest, in the heartland. I love that. I love that.
Yeah, and what was interesting is my thin South Florida blood that I have over the past 6 years, it thickened up rather quickly because I felt what we had coming in on Monday night, which was brutal. That wasn't even the worst of the cold.
No, it wasn't.
And then yesterday, the sun popped out, the wind died down. I'm like, this is all right.
Yeah.
So everybody's in it too. So
my question for you is, how did your dogs? You have dogs. How did they react to the cold?
We have a 14-year-old Shih Tzu that's in okay health.
Okay.
Turned into a puppy immediately. Don't you love it how they do that? So the cold just does something to them.
Oh,
They light up, and she's doing the zoomies out.
Oh, I love that.
And then my other one is still in Florida, so we're still going to bring him. He's got a pet sitter right now, and he is the laziest dog I've ever met in my life. So I'll be curious to see what it does for him, because I don't know if it's the heat that keeps him lazy. I don't think it is. So I think he might come here and be like, yeah, it's cold outside. I'm going to lay on my bed right here. So we'll find out. But yeah, they're going to love it.
So listen, we touched base a little bit. You talked about it, like you talked about being in South Florida. You talked about being from the upper... Go into the story. I want to know where you came from as a meteorologist, how you got into meteorology, and what has been this journey for you.
Anybody that you talk to that's a meteorologist, they've got a story, right?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Something captivated us at some point, whether it be you were a kid and you had the day off of school because it snowed and you thought, this is pretty interesting, I want to know more about this, or you were in a storm. For me, I've always loved the weather, but I'm a big gearhead. I love cars.
Yeah.
So I restored a 67 Mustang not long ago.
Be still my heart.
I had, my dad growing up was a hot rodder, so we had old pickups that he would put big engines in, and it's just what I grew up with.
I like that.
So initially, I was in college to be an automotive engineer. I wanted to design cars. So while I was in college, I had a part-time job at a beer distributor, and I ran a forklift and loaded the beer trucks with beer. It's a big warehouse. It was in St. Louis.
Okay.
And I was working one summer day, and a storm blew in. And this, have you seen the movie Titanic, where the ship is half out of the water?
Yes.
And then you hear the metal groan sound?
Oh, yes, yeah.
It's a weird sound I've never heard before, but metal under stress makes a groan.
Yeah.
And the closest I can give you to what I heard is that movie. My building did that while I'm in it, and that's not a very good structure to be in during a storm.
No, it's scary.
So I'm looking around and I'm listening to this, and it lasted for probably 2 seconds. It felt longer, but after about 2 seconds of that noise, the building goes down. Bam!
Oh my gosh!
That. And I'm in it, and not the half the building went down. It wasn't the half that I was in, thankfully, but I watched the building fold right in front of me.
Holy smokes!
So I start running. I didn't even. It's just instinct. I didn't know that I was running to a safer place. There was no safe
fight or
place
flight.
to be.
That's what you're doing here in that situation.
And I thought I was getting hit by a tornado, and I thought this could be a wrap. This could be it. It wasn't a tornado. It was 90-mile-per-hour straight line winds, which I think is a good lesson because sometimes we have severe thunderstorms that come through, and people think, we get a lot of those. We get a lot of severe thunderstorm warnings.
That's a true story.
And usually they're 60-mile-per-hour winds, which will cause damage, but the force increases greatly as the wind speed goes up.
That's right.
So there's a big difference between a 60-mile-per-hour severe thunderstorm and a 90-mile-per-hour one, and I saw that, and it caused tornado-like damage. So after that happened, I said, forget cars. Weather it is.
Yes.
And I went off to I went to the University of Oklahoma, and I chased tornadoes and got my degree in meteorology. And I didn't plan on being on TV because I didn't think that that's where you really got into deep level forecasting.
Right.
And I thought it was more personality based. But I had an internship at KWTV in Oklahoma City. And it's the craziest thing in the world because they have helicopters. They're chasing tornadoes in helicopters all the time there. I thought this is wild.
Insane.
And Gary England, if you've seen the movie Twister, Gary England is that was my mentor, and he's in Twister. In the beginning of the movie, where they have the old black and white TV and the F5 is bearing down on the house in the beginning, the guy that's on TV is Gary England.
That's him, yeah.
And that's who I got to.
That's incredible.
Yeah, and I learned quickly. You have to have some chops. If you're going to be in an area like Oklahoma City or Kansas City, you can't fake it. These people, these meteorologists that are on TV really know what they're talking. Not only do they have to understand it, but they have to be able to communicate it.
That's right.
And I thought, okay, the first part I was learning in college. The second part of communicating it is every bit as difficult.
Oh, yes.
So I got very captivated by the communications part of it, talking about it, and trying to explain in some way that's simple and easy to understand, and hopefully, at times a little bit of fun whenever the weather's not too impactful.
Course. Yeah.
And I went down that path. So then I went to Lincoln, Nebraska. I was in Lincoln for 7 years.
Right up the road.
We had tornadoes, we had blizzards, we had it all.
Yep.
And I never thought I'd be a hurricane guy, and then Miami called.
Yep.
And I was there for the past 6 years, and I realized now I'm not a hurricane guy. I want to be back in the snow and in the severe weather, and I couldn't be happier to be back here. So that's, in a nutshell, that's my story. So
who's your sporting team? People want to know.
my sporting team, of course, the Oklahoma Sooners. No.
Whoa, easy there, Chief.
Yeah, I know.
Easy there.
I was almost a Mizzou Tiger. I was very close to being a Mizzou Tiger.
Fair.
And ended up going to Oklahoma. I am a Huskers fan too, so I'm probably the only person that I'm the only one I've ever met that's a Sooners fan and a Huskers fan, because those two back in the day, the Big Eight, that was brutal rivalry. But I'm a fan of both because you can't live in Lincoln, Nebraska and not be a fan of the Huskers. It just draws you in. And I'm a Chiefs fan too.
Right on. I was hoping for that.
Before here, because the Chiefs they've been wonderful here lately. It's easy to be a Chiefs fan.
True story.
So maybe it was a little bandwagony there in the beginning. But then, the draw to get back here to the Midwest made it. That's the home team. I grew up in St. Louis, and we had the Rams for a while before they left.
That's right.
So I was a Rams fan, and then I was without a team, and it was easy to jump ship. Now it's all Chiefs, of course, and it's easy to do that.
So you were still down in South Florida when the Miami Dolphins decided to show up here and negative 27 wind chills.
Yeah.
Were you sneakily going, yeah, Chiefs, yeah, let's go?
Oh, yeah. I was egging. They were, the Dolphins were not having a great game.
Yeah, they weren't having a great game.
And I was having a ball telling everybody about it. Just, that wasn't a very good play. How about that? Maybe they can't handle the cold.
Oh, man.
So
it's just phenomenal. You know, I'm telling you, this guy, Luke, is incredible. And knowing that he has come from such a dynamic type of weather, from going from Nebraska here and getting tornado development, but you've gotten blizzard conditions under your belt. You've led a team in Lincoln, Nebraska. You led a successful team at that station. And then moving over to a completely different tropical climate with a different type of severe storm activity. I mean, you've dealt with severe weather as well in South Florida. You've done your tornadoes, and then you get tropical weather on that, which is just one big 400-500 mile wide severe thunderstorm that rips through states, let alone cities.
yeah, and we did. We had tornadoes. We had 2 feet of rain in one night in Fort Lauderdale. We had a supercell, which is a rotating storm, park over Fort Lauderdale, and it dropped 2 feet of rain in a night. And people, their cars were underwater beyond the roof. We've had tornadoes. I covered a tornado 2 Saturdays ago. You may have seen it. If you watched, it was all over national news and Twitter and all over. Yeah. There was a tornado. It was thankfully a weak one, but it was photogenic. You know, this thing dropped right in the middle of what's called Las Olas, which is the shopping district. There's it's a very wealthy area.
Okay,
and they had a tornado come right through, and it was caught on, you know, everybody's got a phone today. So
of course.
There's video of this thing everywhere, and it hit a power line, and sparks are going, and we were on for that tornado. But the thing about hurricanes is that is a high impact event.
Yes.
And the thing is, anytime you're dealing with weather, there's probabilities. Where is this going to go? And that's always the difficult thing, right?
100%.
To pin down, what's this going to mean for you? And with hurricanes, there's a lot that I can bring over from the communications, the forecast side of that to here. And, you know, this is a perfect example with the snow that we've had here lately.
Yeah.
If you look at a forecast for a hurricane, you see a cone, right?
Right.
One side of the cone means devastation for you. Mm-hmm. That's a possibility.
100%.
The other side is it could hook out to sea.
Yep.
And that's not to say that you don't have any information to go off of. But you need to know as a viewer the range of possibilities.
Correct.
And especially when you're talking about 5, 6, 7 days out. That gets the awareness going that, hey, we're not certain right now exactly the details, but this does bring at least a threat. And then as time goes on, that cone with hurricanes gets smaller and smaller as the forecast becomes more focused. And that's a very good analogy for what we do here with snow, with severe weather, those kinds of things. Because 5, 6, 7 days out, you know, if a storm takes a southerly track and we're more on the cold side of it, we get big snow.
Yeah.
We just had 5.7 out at KCI.
Yeah, that's right.
So if that storm were to take a 50-mile jog to the north, that rain-snow transition that you guys were talking all about would have been totally different, and it's not nearly as much of an impact for you. So 7 days out, 5 days out, the ability, it's unforecastable to know which one of those is going to take place. What we can say is this looks most likely at this point, right?
Yeah.
But just know that we have this range here, this wiggle room. And that's something, and not every day, but in a high-impact event, is something that needs to be shown. We're going to be very transparent with the viewers about,
and that's where first warn comes into play.
Right, exactly. We're first warning you. If things change and this is no longer looking to be a big problem, we'll drop that first warn. No problem. But for now, you need to know. Just be aware. Just be aware that this could come our way.
So that brings me into my next question. What does our community here in Kansas City, in the Missouri River Valley, what should they take away from you being our chief meteorologist?
Well, here's the thing that we're going to do, is we're going to make the weather approachable, understandable. I want you as a viewer to not have to wait to get the information that you want. You're going to get it quickly. And then you're going to get rich detail that you can't get off of an app. You can't get other places. You're going to get it from the experts. And it's going to be everything that we know. There's not going to be some behind closed doors conversation where we're saying, well, you know, this thing, you're going to know as a viewer. So I want you to know that we're going to be completely open with you, and you're going to get everything that you want in a forecast from us. You're going to get quickly, and it's going to be understandable. Yeah. So, and we're going to let you know first, too. As soon as we see it, we're going to tell you about it.
That's what we're all about.
What time is your first show? So people
5.
can tune in.
So 5 o'clock.
Today.
We're up and running.
Today.
5, 6, and 10.
He just walked through the door like an hour and a half ago. This man has been on it. He's ready to go, friends. I'm so excited about this.
Yeah, we had, so I've got identical twin girls. They're 18 months, so a year and a half old.
Yeah.
I've got a 3-year-old boy. Yesterday was promo. Monday we landed. Today is, let's go, baby. Let's go. It's time to get to work. There's no reason not to. Let's go.
I know.
It's time to start. So, and I couldn't be more thrilled.
Luke, we're so excited to have you here, buddy. Cannot wait to start really getting involved with you when it comes down to weather and obviously talking about it with our friends out there, our community here in Kansas City in the Missouri River Valley. Last thing I want to do, I'm going to go ahead and finish this off with a beautiful shot of your brand new city, buddy.
Oh,
Is it nice?
Kansas City, look, truly, I love you. I've loved this city for a long, long time. My wife, she lived here when we were engaged, and we would go out and explore Kansas City. I have great friends here. I have roots here, and that's a pretty shot because we have sunshine. I know. And we know what's ahead, which is winter's revenge.
Yeah, that's
what we
about
were
right.
talking about. So, we just got past the worst cold snap in 34 years. And today's the good one.
Yeah.
Today's the good day before it comes back again on us as we get into the weekend, the end of the week and the weekend. Snow and then cold. Oh, boy. But that's winter, baby.
Yeah.
Sometimes it smacks us in the mouth, and we've had a little bit of that here lately.
All right, friends. Well, listen, you can check him out at 5 o'clock in the evening. You're going to see him in the newscast. Not only that, we'll be doing another live stream like this around the early to mid-evening with Warren Sears. We'll check back in, talk about how your first weather kind of hit was in the 5 p.m. and here at KCTV 5. Until then, loves and hugs, friends. Tune in. You're going to want to see this.